last week's episode, we sailed from the Outer Hollandaise KO group to East Cocos Banderos KOs in order to get internet reception from the Goona village to talk to Margarita and upload a video. The trouble is, it was taking a very long time to upload the video, so I had to stay overnight. No problems, I thought. The weather was good and it was a clear night. Just put the phone back up the mast with an attached battery pack and hopefully by morning the upload would be complete. Computers and hard drives go into the oven. That's a bit crazy. Hear that? That's the fastest I've ever heard our wind generator spin. So this is probably the best Couleur de Polio we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's only about 1.5k away. We had a couple of closer. It was only about 2 seconds. It's about 700 meters away. So it's all happening here. It's all good. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay, we're on a fair heavy lean now. The winds come from the south-southwest. Now it's coming from the south-southeast. I had all the... Okay, that's 1.5k away still. I had to take the water collection down. Baby. I had to take the water collection down. It was fully open and it was billowing like a parachute. We were just collecting all of this Couleur de Polio, which is this strong southeast, south-southeast wind. And it's the tropics, right? So it's warm, right? But in literally 2 or 3 minutes in this super strong wind with the rain, you're freezing. It's crazy. I think we've gone through the worst of it now. Alright, that's still only 1.5k away. The closest we got was 600, 700 meters. So basically with the flash, you count. And lightning travels, well, speed of sound from the lightning travels at 350 meters per second. So about every 3 seconds, it's a kilometer. So that's about 1.5 kilometers to 2 kilometers away, that one. I gotta go check up on if we're drifting or not, because we're actually surrounded by sandbanks. We've had 2 really close strikes. There's one island just to the south of us that got lit up like a Christmas tree. Some poor old coconut palm has been blasted to a million pieces. We'll go try and find that. All the radios are disconnected, HF, VHF, but still, you never know. Collecting water is always a priority, even with the tarp mostly rolled up. Makes you feel good when the boat's tanks are full. That island, which is just to the south of us, that's had about 3 strikes. And the island just to the west of us, that's been lit up too. But no strikes, thankfully, too close. Well, that one just was about, whoa! Almost 2 hours. Oh. Okay, I think it's time to go inside and hide in the oven. Well, that was the closest it got, and then 2 hours later it was as if nothing had happened and it was a glorious day. The upload was only about a quarter done, taking 16 hours, so I headed to Nagana Goona village to get some supplies and hopefully finish off the upload.
You aren't allowed to visit the village anymore. You have to get a temperature check at the hospital, and then you can go to the public wharf and get your supplies. And yes, I hate my face mask too.
I'm at the hospital, no one's here. I have to check in. I got my piece of paper.
That piece of paper said I was completely normal. No one's ever accused me of that before. Maybe I should get it framed. Yes, people, I do like pineapple, and a couple more won't hurt.
I even got beetroot, how good's that? Now I just got to get some diesel and then we're good.
But by the time I got back to the boat, the upload was still not done. I would have to go to some islands close by to finish the job.
Well, that was easier than I thought. We're going to head out to some old islands, maybe go to Iguana, and then we'll go out to Island.
In Australia, that's right, 2 syllables, this place would be called Jita. As an Australian, generally any word over 2 syllables is just extra unnecessary work. I mean, as a race, we are flat out trying to move our mouths when we speak as it is, let alone shoving in extra bullcrap syllables that add nothing. Sorry people, but I get emotional about all the squids that have to die to make the ink to write the extra bloody syllables. I mean, save the octopus, people. Because this was my first time here, I need to check the depths so that if I swing, then I won't run aground. It looks all good, people. Time for some fun. This is a perfect place for snapper underneath the breaking wave, but no show, I'm afraid. On the next dive, I was surprised to see a crab right out in the open. Dump the gun and let's try to grab it. He's a bit feisty to go into the anchor box. I reckon he'll climb out of the boat too. Better put a leash on it. And a sun hat. Just because I'm going to eat him doesn't mean I can't be nice to him leading up to the event. Do we all remember Murray the mud crab? The way he used to drag that claw around on the boat at night? Now that was a friendship like man and dog. Well, except for the fetching. Now to swim and find some good territory. Now this looks promising. Maybe not. I go through small holes, but not that small, people.
But how good were those caves? Plenty of breathe holes, safe as houses, bloody good, but that'll hit us in maybe 10 minutes. So I'll check out one more spot over there, and but no, I'm not having any high hopes about getting any fish. But you know, let's see. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I think my fins are finally on the way out, because now they've broken through down there. So these terrible fins, I'm not going to tell you the make of the fins.
I needed to get back to check the anchor and make sure that if we did have a complete reversal of the wind, which it looked like, then the anchor would have enough room to reset in sand. A Rockner needs about 3 or 4 meters to do this. It's all okay, people. The anchor chain is actually going all the way up right and then back down left because of the wind change. I am happy because the circle is the key. The anchor in the old set position is here, so when the wind blows harder, the shank of the anchor will be brought round this way, and there is plenty of sand for the anchor to reset itself here. But the most important thing is this, people. Have a nice day. Of course, if there was weed in close proximity to the Rockner, I would place the anchor somewhere else. Okay, enough of the public message, people. It's time to make my dinner, and we don't have too long before rain is a-coming. Some kind, thoughtful person left this rubbish on the beach. These islands are the end of the road for some of the Atlantic and Caribbean rubbish. The wind only really blows from east to west and collects here, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala and Mexico. No more than a few minutes on the coals for the crab. Since the crab meat is quite sweet, I wanted to juxtapose it with some saltier barbecue fish flavour. So I shot a small yellow goatfish. Yes, it's tiny, but I only need a small fish, people. Okay, it's done. And it still hasn't rained yet. Time to pick up the GoPro doing a time lapse of the approaching cell and eat on the boat.
I think it looked worse than what it actually is. Barely getting 12 knots. I think it'll get a bit more. But with this anchorage here, we're actually tacked within the reef, and just behind us, that's reef. So our lee shore is a reef, so it's not ideal. Now I checked with a cruising couple that love to come here even during the Collo de Pollo in summer, and they said it's always coming from the west or the northwest. Well, they left, yesterday, I came today, and now we got a southerly. It's the worst direction of wind for this spot because it's all open. Anyway, we got 40 metres, we're in 3 metres of water, so we got a ratio of 11 to 1. Mind you, the chain is, remember how rusty it is? Far out. Anyway, let's go in and try that tiny little fish with the curve. It's lightning.
Well, bugger if I know why the GoPro malfunctioned and I lost the time lapse of the approaching cell and the dinner. It's lost somewhere in the ether, people, but I can tell you the small salty fish was excellent with the sweet crab. Oh yeah, it's a brand new day and I am blah blah blahing about something or other, so I guess I better put the sound on.
Well, we survived the night. The water, like it rained a lot, the water is, look at that. It's 3 metres deep and you can't see the bottom. It's going to be interesting today. I think there's a river just behind there, so it's all come out with the rain. A little bit hairy just after dark. we had the wind come in a bit stronger, and then the chain pulled straight. It might have got caught on one of the, so it wasn't quite straight. What happens is you get sand, and then there's a raised section of weed, and so it might have just gone around that because I didn't check it. I mean, I pulled it, the chain, but obviously it wasn't straight. And we dropped back another 5 or 6 meters, and we got to 2 meters, just over 2 meters depth. So we had only about, well, less than a foot under the keel. And with the wind coming in, the chop, I thought we'd start banging. So I had to go forward. But apart from that, it's a glorious morning. It's a glorious morning because the boat's not up on the reef. That's glorious enough.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The upload was complete, so it took around 30 hours to upload a 1.3 gigabyte YouTube video. More of blah 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 this, blah 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 that. Basically, in a nutshell, I wanted to get away from any weather coming and get back out to the outer reef, where I wouldn't be so affected. So I was off, people. See you next week.